latest census data shows there are 18.6 million military veterans in the United States. The majority are over age 60 and in the coronavirus high-risk group. Today, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs is reporting a somber milestone: 3,044 deaths from COVID-19. More than 53,000 veterans and VA employees have contracted the virus, and of that number, there are almost 3,000 active cases. Here in Georgia, the VA reports 82 veterans have died from COVID-19. There are currently 131 active cases, and nearly 2,000 veterans and VA employees are recovering from the virus. Georgia is the fastest growing state in the country when it comes to veterans. That's according to U.S. Secretary of Veterans Affairs Robert Wilkie. He visited the Atlanta VA today, getting an update from Director Ann Brown on the impacts of the coronavirus. Secretary Wilkie spoke about the ways the facility has adapted to help more veterans despite the pandemic.
In a normal month, Atlanta VA conducts 950 telehealth appointments. During the pandemic, that number has gone to 20,000. That means we're reaching veterans where they live.
Secretary Wilkie did not address ongoing concerns about adequate protective equipment for VA workers. Nurses rallied outside the Atlanta VA Medical Center back in April, complaining that the lack of masks and other supplies put them at risk. And last month, a report obtained by Kaiser Health News showed Georgia was facing a substantial shortage of PPE at the same time Governor Brian Kemp began lifting pandemic restrictions.